This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Barakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on you, brethren, that's teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the few Akwaf out there listening and learning in your proper position in silence. And shalom to the elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there, shalom. I'm the brother Dhamma Gabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, and as it tells us in the 11th verse of Ecclesiasticus, the 10th verse, to never trust thine enemy, okay? And it means exactly that. We are never to trust our main enemy, which is Esau Edom, who is the so-called white man. All right, because everything that he does is steeped in wickedness. It's steeped in, it's steeped in undermining you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And as we're entering into the time of this whole, technocracy, all of this technology, this digital ID, all of this so-called, futuristic technology that this man is boasting in and establishing, you have to understand that it's all being done to undermine you, to deceive you. All right. It's all being done to throw you into a pit. All right. And he's going to make it sound good with all these promises of healing, all these promises of, life extension. It's going to make life more convenient, make life easier, yada, yada, yada. But really, it's all, a form of deception. It's things being offered to you to seem as if it'll benefit you, but really is going to destroy you. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of this technology does have benefits, but you have to understand the greater creation of it is ultimately to destroy you, to handicap you, to oppress you, and ultimately to give him the complete and upper advantage to be able to rule over you with this technology, man. That's the end game of it all. And you cannot be deceived. This is why you cannot trust this man. He's telling you now, in order for you to work, you gotta have your digital ID so that we could stop scammers and we could, get rid of all these immigrants and all the people here in this country who don't belong here, that are stealing your jobs. It'll open up jobs and opportunity and more money, to make things more secure, to make your life better, which is all a bunch of BS. It's all a form of deception, man. You see, this is why this man can never be trusted. And this is why you have to look well to your going and understand ultimately whatever this man does, you have to look at it with a side eye. You have to question it. You have to be on guard, because if you're not, it's like in a trap and a pit that you're going to fall in, And I was reading this article, and this is what prompted this lesson, right? It says, the final betrayal, how technocracy's promise of freedom became a cage. You see, and this is what this whole, Elon Musk and Palantir, all of this digital IDs that these devils are trying to establish, cashless societies, doing away with cash, cryptocurrencies, all of this talk of, biometric data and information and wearables and this and that and the third, it's all ultimately the grand scheme of it is to put you in a cage, which is a trap. And we know that all roads, all this digital ID, this technology is going to eventually lead to what the Bible refers to as the mark of the beast, which is basically, the top that's going to seal you inside of this technological cage and prison system, which is going to give him complete and total control over every aspect of your life, man. See, it's all a goddamn trap. It's all a deception. You see? And like I said, don't be believing all the hype and the bullshit of what this man has promised you that this technology can provide you with, because that's all part of them, part of the many miracles, brain chip interfaces and Neuralink. Oh, it's helping the blind to see. It's helping, crippled people to walk. It's helping people with all these disabilities and sicknesses we're using this technology to help them to get better and to improve their lives. And look how great it is. And don't you want this to be a part of your life? It's all part of the deception and these different miracles that they're showing you that this technology can provide. Meanwhile, it's all a trap to lure you in so that they can set the trap and ensnaring you within this technology and making you a technological slave. And it's going to all lead into the MOTB, which is the implantable microchip, man. So let's read some of this article. I don't want to read some of the highlights. I just want to read this first paragraph because this is all I need. It says the book, which is the book that this guy wrote, which, it basically, is just showing you, basically what this system is all about. But they always provide these, which it do make sense. A lot of the, how you got to resist the system and things that you can do to try to, prepare yourself when the system comes to be self-sufficient. But we know in the grand scheme of things, ain't none of that shit's going to work because we know this man's going to eventually come down like a madman, sparing none. Our only solution and salvation from this is the return of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And this is something that all these guys who write these books and bring out, expose a lot of this information, never have within their plans. Their plans is, get your neighbors and get a community and grow your own food and go out onto the countryside, which, yeah, that is a good idea, but at the end of the day, we know it's not a good idea because you can be out there in the woods all you want to. What are you going to do when Esau sends a militia or his army or a goddamn drone over your little homestead and blows it to smithereens? Or he comes in the middle of the night with 5,000 troops and just totally just ambush and sack your whole little community that you established to resist the technocracy. You see? Our only solution and salvation from this devil and this agenda is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? But anyways, let's read some of this. It says, the book, The Final Betrayal, Technocracy's Takeover of the Digital Age, points out that the promise of the digital age was freedom, right? And that's the lie. That's the deception. It ain't no goddamn freedom. It's not going to free you. It's going to enslave you. You see, this is how you got to understand your enemy and never trust this devil. Whatever he's promised you is promising you freedom and success and a better this and a better that. You better already know it's the exact opposite, man. Because this man is the devil. Let me get this. This man is a damn demon, man. And he'll come and smile in your face and he'll tell you this is this. And, I want to make things better. And he'll come, humble. He'll come smiling. But this man can never be trusted. This is 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. It says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. You see? It says, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteous, whose end shall be according to their works. Right, because they'll have the Bill Gates, they'll have all their little cardboard cutouts, these little representatives coming to push all of this agenda until, have these TED Talks, the Bill Gates, the Peter Tills, all these guys that are, at the forefront of bringing this technology and telling you how great it is and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. They're all a bunch of damn demons and they're all Satan, man. You see, but they'll put on that suit, they'll get their teeth whitened, they'll be on the news and the media telling you how great this thing is, trying to explain to you how it's going to make life better. And, it's going to clean the earth and we can help the blind to see. And, we could end homelessness and we could, fix all the problems with society. We can clean the earth. We could promise everlasting life. It's the fountain of youth. But ultimately, these devils are completely and utterly lying to you. Let's read it in the NLT, 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. But I am not surprised. Even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it is no wonder that his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. In the end, they will get the punishment their wicked deeds deserve, which is what? Yahweh Shai coming back ultimately and destroying these devils, man. You see? It says the book, The Final Betrayal, Technocracy's Takeover of the Digital Age, points out that the promise of the digital age was freedom. We were told that technology would liberate us from scarcity, connect us across the borders, and give us tools to live better lives, you see? And that's all Satan talking right there, man. It's all that, them gassing you up, them buttering your biscuits, them getting you, getting you to believe that this technology is going to actually do good when it's going to exactly do evil, And it's only going to benefit these international bankers and these elites to oppress and to put you in this digital prison system to where within it they'll have complete and total control. But meanwhile, promising you freedom and liberation and all the success in the world and enhance IQs and eternal life, and we can heal you of any disease. You know, the world would be like the movie Elysium. We can live forever and be healthy and young and youthful forever. I remember I saw this movie. It was like a low budget movie. I think it was on Tubi or something, but it was this movie called The Uglies, where it was like, you had it was kind of like the super rich was living on Elysium, but the humans that were on the earth, their whole goal and their whole aim in life was to get up to that, to be turned from the uglies to the beautiful. Once they were chosen, they would go to this little procedure, and they would be young forever, and they was just living it up. They was all rich, and everybody had money. They were famous. They were beautiful. They were partying. They were dancing, while everybody else who was not a part of that group, their whole aim was to make it to where those the upper echelon of people were at, man. So they show you these things all through these different movies with this whole false advertising and fast hope of that's what this technology is going to do. But in reality, it's going to betray your ass, man. And they're going to lock you in a 15-minute city. They're going to restrict your travel. They're going to tell you got to eat bugs. You will own nothing and be happy. But meanwhile, they're pushing this technology as if it's going to make things glorious and better for every person and every human. It's all bullshit, man. It says, but what we have received instead is a gilded cage, a system of surveillance, control, and manipulation that masquerades as progress. You see, the evidence is overwhelming. Technocracy represents the ultimate betrayal of humanity, using digital tools to monitor, manipulate, and enslave us while promising liberation. You see, that's why this man cannot be trusted under any circumstances whatsoever, man. All right. And this is Psalms chapter 10, verse 5. It says, his ways are always grievous. Their judgments are far above out of his sight, and as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, you see? And that's what's coming out of all these guys' lips, from Trump on down, Whenever you hear these guys Palantir, when you hear just recently Bill Gates came out talking and flapping his gums, it was all cursing, deceit, and fraud, everything that was coming out of his mouth, man. Whether they're talking about that new Hunter virus, whether they're talking about, King Charles coming out talking about the whole digital ID, whether it's Keir Starmer, whether it's Trump coming out, everything that's coming out of their mouth is deceit and fraud, man. Is literally the opposite of whatever they're telling you. You see? It says, under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Yeah, mischief, wickedness, and lies. Remember, this man Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. You see, you got to see through the whole veneers and look past the suit and the slick back hair, and the so-called titles that they hold, and you have to really see them for what they truly are, a bunch of damn demons, man, liars, false advertisers, deceptors, manipulators. You see, cunning hunters and all type of sorcerers, warlocks, demons, man. It says he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. And that's what this technology is getting ready to do. Now you're hearing about all these flock cameras. And I just Google where I live, and there's flock cameras here. And I've been looking out for them, man. And those flock cameras are tied hand in hand with the police and with the government. Every time you drive by one of those flock cameras, it's taking your picture of your car, of your license plates, even all the little minute small details about your car, whether it has a dent in the front bumper, and as it's scanning your license plates, hey, it's feeding information of who you are back to the police, whether you have a warrant, whether your licenses or your tags are expired, or whatever the case might be. As soon as you drive by that flock camera, that your information of your license plate and what's going on in your life is reported back to the police. And I saw videos where this one guy was, they said he had a warrant, which he didn't, because I guess, his car looked like the car of a guy who, had felonies. And every time he drove by the flock camera, he said every time he drives in that particular area, few minutes later or maybe 10 minutes later, he's getting pulled over by the police because it's reporting back that particular car and make and the driver of it has a felony, which the guy said he never had, man. So you see where this thing is headed, man. And that's just one small piece of the mass surveillance that is being done. You see, and they're going to want this on a buku stage pretty soon. Even, if you're in your apartment, wherever you are, you're going to be tracked, traced. AI is going to be watching and surveilling you, man. All of your purchases, what do you buy, whatever you're watching, everything, man. This is the situation that we're facing. And this is what this technology ultimately is being rolled out to do. It's not being rolled out to make your life better and to make things great here. It's to enslave and to monitor and to track and to let this devil play a technological god over you people, man. To control your behaviors, to have you all as good, obedient little demon slaves to this system. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor, right? And that's what this technology is all about. For the super rich to rule over the poor. You see? So everything that you do, they're going to be on you, eagle eyeing your ass, man. Hey, right? And everything that you do, you're going to be, if you violate, you're going to be punished in real time. This is why Trump just went to China. And this is the system that China has, man. The Skynet type of system, where everything that they do is being tracked and traced and monitored, man. There's like, hundreds of cameras for every Chinese citizen that's over there in that country. And there's nowhere where you can go where you're not being where your facial recognition is not being watched. If you get everywhere you go, you're being watched and watched and monitored and tracked, man. Making sure that you're on your best behavior. This is the system this man is getting ready to roll on all of us, man. You see, and this is why, like the guy says in this article, you got to grow your own food. You got to, have a community. That's all fine and dandy, but these devils are not going to allow you to do that, man. You think you're going to be safe out there in the suburbs and in the woods? Even that shit's going to be tracked and traced and monitored. They're going to have eyes out there. And eventually, hey, they're going to want eyes on the inside of every person's body, man, with these microchips, with these brain chip interfaces, man. They want to know everything, even what's going on the inside of you, man. So there ain't going to be no escape. The only escape is Yahweh Shai coming back and destroying these devils and this whole system as a whole. It says, his eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. And this is what this technology is going to literally allow this man to have the power to do. to lurk and watch on everybody and everything that you do, everything that you say. Even your own thoughts are going to be monitored and tracked in real time through artificial intelligence and AI. This is why they're building all these goddamn data centers. They're trying to have a data center in every state in this country. And that's going to do nothing more but just destroy the earth, the ecosystem, suck up all the water. You see, and this is why they want you to own nothing to be happy, because they're going to need all of this energy and all of the power to service these data centers. And they're going to put you people in these little 15-minute cities, these little towns stacked on top of each other like sardines, to where your movements are going to be confined to about, 15 minutes, about a couple mile radius is where you're going to live your everyday lives, man. Catching pure hell. You're not going to be able to travel. You ain't going to be able to go on vacation. You're not going to board no planes. Hey, your only form of entertainment is going to be like that movie Ready Player One. You're going to have to put those VR goggles on and go to what was that shit called? The Oasis and escape reality, man. Watch that movie Ready Player One. They showed you that's what the future is going to be. You're going to be in these ghettos, in these little 15-minute cities, and there ain't going to be flourishing utopian towns. They're going to be 15-minute shitholes, man. It's going to be like in the movie Ready Player One, they were called the stacks, where they were just stacked on top of each other. It looked like a goddamn a city dump, living in RVs in a shanty town stacked on top of each other. And your only escape from the real shitty world was going into the Oasis, the VR world, where anything was possible. You can, do this, you can do that. You can go to the casino, you can go to different countries, you can snow the Alps, but only in a fantasy world, only in the digital world, man. All right. Slacky for that rant. It says, he lieth and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net, and his net is going to be that digital net, this technocracy they're establishing. You see, it says, as leading technocracy expert Patrick Wood has warned, this is not a distant threat. It is happening now. The American Republic is dead, replaced by a corporate state merger where your data is currency and your obedience is the goal. We no longer live under a constitutional republic, but under a technocratic order that treats citizens as assets to be managed. And that's all you're going to be in this new world order. You see? Because remember, you're going to own nothing and be happy. And whatever you do have is going to be given to you by the government, man. All right. That apartment that you have is going to be a loaner. Yeah, you can live in that apartment, but as long as your obedience is up to par, as long as you're, doing what you're told, eating the bugs, whatever little menial job that they may give you, you better do it and do it right, man. Hey, because you better not have no thought crime. You better not think in your mind or voice any opposition or rebellion or call out any bullshit that you're going through under this new world order. Hey, you're gonna be pinged and punished in real time, man. You see, it says yeah, we no longer live under a constitutional republic, but under a technocratic order that treats citizens as assets to be managed. The global elite from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C. And just this Friday, when I was out on speaking on the streets, I read this article where now they're telling you that the Silicon Valley guys are telling you that everybody eventually is going to have a brain chip in their brains, man. So we see where this thing is going, man. It says the global elite from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C. have woven a system of surveillance, censorship, and control that must be understood and resisted. You see here it says build a community that can't be shut down, which, yeah, it sounds good. That sounds like a good idea to what to do to what they're doing, but it's not going to work. Because like I said, eventually they're going to come down with great wrath. They'll send the military after these little homesteads or anybody that's trying to cut ties with centralized platforms, use encrypted messages. But you can't use encrypted messages because eventually it's still going to be their system, and they're going to rig it to eventually to where you're not going to have the rights or the ability to use encrypted messaging. Every form of the internet is going to be totally under their control, man. It says use private search engines and store your local files. Bro, you can't hide from this devil. You can't use these things and not think that he can't get access to it. It says educate yourself about the system and how the works fail, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, like we said, the only solution to this problem is Yahweh Shai, our Lord and Savior, coming back and crushing this damn devil, man, and totally taking this devil out of rulership and power, man. Yep, and this is Revelations 13 and 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of men, right? Meaning this technology, man. And that's how he's going to deceive a lot of these people with the things that I was mentioning earlier. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. We're just talking about the Roman Empire, but now we're in the modernized Roman Empire. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which is, the ancient Roman Empire, the holidays, the holidays, the days of the month, the political system, that's all alive and well today. But now we're seeing this same Roman system is taking a change. Like the guy just said, right? Let me read that again. We no longer are living in what it says. We no longer live under a constitutional republic, but under a technocratic order that threatens citizens as assets to be managed. You see, and this is the system you're going to have to bow down and worship is this technocracy. Otherwise, what? It tells you in the 16th verse, you're going to be separated. You see, you won't be able to buy or sell or function within this society unless you pledge allegiance to this technocracy that they're getting ready to establish. That's why Prince Charles the other day said, if you don't have your digital ID, you're not going to be able to function within society. Carl Starmer said, if you don't have your digital IDs up to par, you won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to work in this British government or in the UK. It's going to be the same here in America when they bring it. And it's all going to be behind the back of this technocratic system they're establishing. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And we know that word goes killed means to be separated. Separated from what? Society, from buying and selling. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bound to receive a mark in their right hand, they're in their foreheads. And that word for the mark is charagma, which we believe through faith is the microchip, which is going to ultimately be the end game of this whole technocratic system. First, it starts with you having your biometrics up to date, and then eventually it's going to lead to this MOTB. You see? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, you see? And this is why it says the final betrayal, which is going to lead to what? This MOTB. Because this technocracy is not going to lead to freedom and prosperity, but to, like it says here, a cage, total digital enslavement of you people, via these elites, man. And it's going to all culminate leading to the MOTB, which is the plannable micro C, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And to the next one, Shalom.